The lecture hall of the Galactic Naval Academy hummed with the usual low buzz of translation matrices and nervous breathing. Instructor Velcris, a towering Zarthan with scales that shimmered like oil on water, stood before the holographic display showing a rotating image of Earth, that strange, chaotic death world at the edge of the Orion Spur. Astra Vale sat in the back row, her posture relaxed in a way that unnerved the other cadets. She was the only human in a class of 47, and she wore that distinction like armor. Her dark hair was pulled back in a simple braid, and her gray eyes tracked the instructor's movements with an intensity that suggested she was cataloging weaknesses rather than taking notes. Rin, the small Kivar cub, sat pressed against Astra's left arm. His fur was a soft blue-gray, and his large, intelligent eyes never left her face. The instructors had tried to separate them during the first week protocol, demanded cadets maintain professional distance from support species, but Rin had simply refused to eat until they relented. Now, 3 months into the term, everyone had accepted that where Astra went, Rin followed. Earth, Velcris was saying, his 3-fingered hand gesturing at the hologram, is classified as a Class 9 death world. Gravity is 1.2 times galactic standard. The atmosphere contains reactive oxygen. The planet experiences regular seismic activity, extreme weather patterns, and harbors approximately 8.7 million species, many of which are actively predatory. A Threnody cadet, her crystalline body refracting the lecture hall's light into rainbow patterns, raised a tentacle. Instructor, how did humans evolve sentience under such conditions? Necessity, Velcris replied. When every day is a struggle for survival, intelligence becomes the ultimate adaptation. Astra allowed herself a small smile. She'd heard variations of this lecture before. The other species viewed Earth with the kind of horrified fascination one might reserve for a black hole, dangerous, incomprehensible, best observed from a distance. The hologram shifted, showing various Earth predators: lions, crocodiles, sharks, bears. The class murmured uneasily. Humans evolved alongside these creatures, Velcris continued. They learned to hunt in packs, to craft tools, The scanner spiked. The sound was unmistakable, a high-pitched shriek that meant only one thing: hostile contact. Emergency lights bathed the lecture hall in crimson as the hologram dissolved, replaced by tactical readouts. Somewhere in the station, something had gone very, very wrong. Velcris's crest flared. All cadets, evacuation protocol. The wall exploded. Not the outer wall that would have meant decompression and instant death. No, this was the interior wall separating the lecture hall from the maintenance corridor. Through the smoke and debris, 3 figures emerged. Pirates, Astra's mind catalogued instantly. Greshk clan markings. Heavy armor. Plasma weapons. The lead pirate raised his weapon toward the frozen cadets. Time seemed to slow. Rin's claws dug into Astra's arm, not in fear but in instinctive trust. The small cub knew what was coming before anyone else in the room did. Astra moved. Her hand shot out, fingers closing around the plasma pistol holstered at the belt of the Threnody cadet beside her. The crystalline student hadn't even registered the threat yet. Her species' visual processing was notoriously slow compared to humans. The pirate's finger tightened on the trigger. Astra snatched the plasma shot from the air. Her hand intercepted the bolt 6 inches from the Threnody cadet's face. And for a heartbeat that stretched into eternity, she held it. The superheated plasma screamed against her palm, dispersing across a personal shield she'd activated with her free hand, a shield the Academy had issued for training but never expected cadets to deploy in combat situations. Every cadet went silent. Even the pirates froze, their predatory instincts recognizing something that transcended species barriers. An apex predator defending its territory. Rin clung tighter to her arm, his small body trembling not with fear but with excitement. He'd seen her practice in the combat simulators, had watched her reflexes that defied galactic standard reaction times. Now everyone else was seeing it too. Astra's shield flickered and died, its charge depleted. She still held the plasma pistol. The pirates had 3 weapons between them. The tactical calculation was simple and brutal. "Earth lessons over," Astra said, her voice carrying across the silent hall. "Time For a human lesson. She fired. The first shot took the lead pirate in the shoulder, spinning him around. The second caught his weapon, superheating it until he dropped it with a howl. The third shot went wide, deliberately slamming into the ceiling above the other two pirates and showering them with molten debris. But Astra wasn't trying to kill them. She was hurting them. The pirates scrambled back through the hole they'd created, their bravado evaporating in the face of a human who moved like lightning and thought 3 steps ahead of chaos. Station security would find them cowering in the maintenance corridor 2 minutes later, babbling about a demon from Earth. Astra lowered the weapon, feeling the adrenaline begin to ebb. Around her, 46 cadets stared with expressions ranging from shock to awe to outright terror. Instructor Velcris recovered first. His scales had gone pale as Tsar then fear response, but his voice remained steady. Cadet Vale. Report to the Commandant's office immediately. Astra nodded, already anticipating the conversation. She'd broken at least 7 regulations in the past 30 seconds, but she'd also saved lives, and that counted for something. Rin finally released her arm, his small paws patting her hand in what she'd learned was a kivar gesture of approval. She scratched behind his ears absently, earning a soft purr. As she stood to leave, the Threnody cadet, whose face had nearly been melted, spoke for the first time, her crystalline voice chiming softly. You caught it. The plasma bolt. How? Quote. Astra paused at the door. Rin perched on her shoulder now. She turned back to face the class, to face all those alien species who'd grown up on peaceful worlds with gentle gravity and breathable air. On Earth, she said quietly, we have a saying, adapt or die. We've been doing it for 4 million years. She walked out, leaving behind a lecture hall full of cadets who would never look at the rotating hologram of that blue-green death world quite the same way again. Outside, station security was already arriving, their weapons drawn. Astra raised her hands in the universal gesture of compliance, the borrowed plasma pistol dangling from one finger, but Rin remained on her shoulder, clinging to her arm, refusing to sit anywhere except at her side, just as he always would.